YouTubers, this is Ish with you once again. I am in Philadelphia here with my little baby Adi. As you can see, he's playing with his toy giraffe, Sophie. This episode of my video blog that I'm going to be presenting to you has to do with the first trip that we made to the zoo with him. And he lives in this house with two cats, and we were visiting and we were looking at all the animals, and then we went to the area where all the big cats were. And well, perhaps not very surprisingly, all the lions and tigers were just like big cats to him, so he was not at all afraid. So there was a photo that we took of him right next to a lion, and today we're going to look at how we simply tweak that photo just a little bit in Photoshop. Hey, all right, so let's head on and see how my baby behaved when he met the lion.
Alright, so let's get started with this photo. In this photo, you see the one that I mentioned is my little baby boy with a lion in the Philadelphia Zoo, and it was his first time. He was very excited, and the funny thing, as I mentioned, for us was that the lion was no different to him than a big cat. So what do we do with a photo like this? So the first thing is I don't want to play with the exposure. We just go through the camera raw. You could have done it in Lightroom as well, but let's see. So in this photo, let's play with the highlights and the shadow and the others. Just like we do in Lightroom, we press down Alt and we move the highlights slider a little bit. So let me keep on moving it. Well, actually for the highlights I didn't need to, but let's keep on moving it. Let's bring down the highlights just a little bit. So there's a before, here's the after. And the reason I did that is, in his shirt there's a lot of direct bright sunlight, and also I want to bring up the shadows a little bit to reveal some of the hidden data. And let's say, let's stay here so that we got some idea about some info revealed from there. Since we reduced the highlights and brought up the shadows, we need to add a little bit of white and black because we lost a lot of contrast. So in the whites, now press down Alt and keep moving. We see that we can go about up to 10, 18 or something like that. So let's go a little bit there, and also pressing down Alt, let's go to the other direction with the blacks, and let's see. So let's see if we blow a few pixels here and there, but that's okay. So let's say we do this and we open the image in Photoshop and see what we can do, because we want to do certain things that we can technically do in Lightroom, but it's helpful to do in Photoshop. Let's try that. Alright, so here's the original background layer. Let me unlock that and make a copy of it, pressing Command J. And in this layer, what I want to do is just look at the first few things. Now let's zoom in just a little bit and see what other things. See, in this area of his head, I promise you he had a little bit of hair, not too much, but he had some hair, but he looks almost bald. But in Photoshop we can fix that. So let's press S, and that'll bring us to the clone stamp tool. Press down Alt or Option, take some place where you want to get the pattern from. So let's click around here, and then we can just, oops, that's too much. Let's bring the opacity of the brush down to say 40. So take this other one out. So just take something from here and paint. Just take from here and paint, so that we can take out some of the gloss. It's not about giving him hair, it's more about taking the gloss out of this area. You can actually take it from there as well and paint. So again, get from there and paint. And just a little more. You get the idea. If you ever need to do something like that, you can. The difference it makes is, that was before, it's after. Subtle, just a little bit, but can go a long way. Alright, and this will be the layer that we work on. And now that the highlights has been fixed, let's look at the photo. The first thing that pops is that this photo is very green. There's a lot of green in this because of course there was a lot of foliage and the sun, and the reflection came from a lot of green. So let's get an adjustment layer. We could do it with curves. You know what, let's do it with the levels, just for the sake of it. So you can have that, and here you can select what kind of color. Say the green is what we want to play with, and what we can do is we can keep on moving. So if we move to the left, it becomes more green, which we don't want. So let's move to the right so that we can reduce the green a little bit. Now that's okay, but now the problem is that we need to fix other colors, because while it fixed the problem with the green, it introduced other problems. So let's take this time let's take a curves layer and see what we can do. We don't want to change the RGB, we change the green, but let's come and change the blue, because it was very blue. When we took out the green, the blue became very prominent, and that caused a problem. So let's just take down the blue, and this immediately gives us somewhat of a better look than what we had before. So that's with just the green taken out, and that's with just a little bit of balancing with the blue. Now that we've done that, what we can see here is that you can see the mom and the baby and the reflection of the baby and parts of the mom all very good, and it might just appear to be a photo of just these two, but you have the lion here and we want the lion to be prominent. So to do that, what we want to do is get another adjustment layer. Let's take the brightness and contrast this time, and let's press Command I to invert and grab a brush, and let's make it a bigger brush. Okay, maybe a little too big, but okay, that's here. You know what, let's invert again. Let's look at just the lion now and see what we want to do. So this is where we are. So we can play with the brightness and the contrast. So let's say we reduce overall or increase overall, so you can see the different thing, the kinds of changes it makes. Now I don't want the color of the line to be so washed out. That's why I'm going to go to the other direction. Let's get something like that, so you get it the lion's color, but we still don't have much contrast, so we're going to take the contrast slider and keep moving that one. Let's see, so there you see more of his color, the more of what we need. So this is what we want for the lion, but it's all over the photo. We don't want that, so we press Command I to invert. We take our brush, which is at 30% opacity and a flow of, let's say, 30, and it's on black, so we take white. I pressed X to flip it, and wherever I paint, that color of the lion will be revealed. So let's come and do that. So what we do here is we take this and we keep painting and painting to reveal the color. Since we have the flow and opacity low, we need to let it go and come back again so that the color can build up. And this also allows you to step back, and to step back actually you can use Command Shift J or Command Alt, not J, Z. And so there you go, and that's it. That's all we want to do. Alright, so now that, oh, I was painting on the wrong layer, my bad. There you go. So yeah, let's do that. That bit is done. Now what we need to, let's look at the photo again. So what else do we need to look at? This photo that we have here could use a little bit of adjustment in terms of brightness, and also in this photo there's a lot of gloss because it was a midday photo. I forgot to look at the timestamp exactly when I took it, but let's fix that. If you want to fix any of that, you can come to, yeah, the hue saturation layer works. Here you can up the lightness of it, so there you make it a little brighter, and yeah, something around that is good, but this is too washed out. So what we want to do is tone it down just a little bit, which we'll do, but we also need to reduce the saturation just a little bit. Now Yeah, it's a little too much, so you can always change the opacity of the layer itself. Oops, not that much, to get to a point that you like. This seems like a good balance, or maybe a little bit more. Alright, so that's what you can do. And now finally, for any image, it helps to have a dodge and burn layer. You can do that in Lightroom, or you can do that here. There are lots of tricks. I've covered that in other other tutorials, so I'm not going to go there right now. But what I'm going to show is one last thing. You can press Command Alt Shift E to have a stamp visible layer. And in this layer, what you want to do is you come here and you select the elliptical marquee tool, and you create something like this. Then you come to select. You don't see it up here, but it's select, and you transform selection. What this allows you to do is just take the selection anywhere you want and play with it. And what I'm trying to do here is I want to introduce a vignette that is not exactly regular. I don't want a vignette coming from all four sides. I want a vignette which will draw attention to the core subjects, which is my little baby boy and the lion. Of course, I think he is more ferocious than the lion at the moment. So there's that, and once done, let's press enter, and there we have it. Now what we do is we can create a mask. So just click on here with the selection and you'll see that the mask is done. Unfortunately, something else we forgot to do is we need to feather the mask. So hit Control Command Z again, and here I am. So I come to select, modify, feather. Let's do 600 pixels so that we have a good feather. Now press the mask and you'll see this feathered area. Now once that's done, what I'm going to do is turn that into multiply. And what did this, in the multiply mode, this got kind of burned, but we don't want that. We basically want this mask inverted. So I should have pressed Alt when I pressed this, but press Command I and it's inverted, and there you have it. Now this is too much once again. So what we do is we take the opacity slider and we bring it down. Let's bring it down. Yeah, 25-30% is usually where I leave it. So there you have the photo. So this was done very quickly. It's a quick and dirty job, but let's select all those and click on the folder icon here, so you have all your adjustments. Now you can click on this to see there's the before, here's the after. So this is the process I followed for this one. I personally love this photo. We've been waiting ages to go to the zoo with him. It was really good, and I wanted to share this photo. It's it's a private photo, everyday life photo, but I thought there's good things to learn from here as well. All right, I hope you like it. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.